When you start looking at a full home surveillance system, the biggest question is usually, will this actually give me the coverage I need without turning my budget upside down? It's easy to get swept up in the flashy 4K marketing, especially when every other video doorbell or cheap Wi-Fi cam promises crystal clear night vision. What I'm going to do in the next few minutes is cut through the hype and walk you through the practical side of the Lorex NC4K3MV 164WB, a 16-channel NVR paired with 4 motorized 8MP bullet cameras. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'll talk about the real-world scenarios where this kit shines, where it falls short, and who should walk away without spending a dime. First off, the most common hesitation I hear from people who are on the fence with a system like this is the fear of over-engineering. You might think a 4K NVR is overkill for a typical suburban home, or worry that the cameras will be too finicky to set up on a tight budget. On the other side, there are folks who have already tried a handful of lower-resolution cameras and are frustrated by blurry footage when trying to read a license plate at the driveway. The Lorex package tries to sit in the middle. It offers the highest resolution you'll typically see in a residential setup, but it also bundles the cameras, mounting hardware, and a 3TB hard drive in one box, which can actually save you money versus buying components piecemeal. Let's talk about the core of any surveillance kit, the cameras. These 4 8MP units sport a motorized 4x optical zoom and claim real-time 30 frames per second performance. In practice, that translates to being able to pull back and see details on a car license plate or a face at roughly 30 feet away without the image becoming a mushy blur. I tested this by setting up one camera out front, aimed at my driveway, and recorded a moving sedan at night. The 150-foot IR range really works. The footage stays black and white, but the detail is impressive, and when the headlights turn on, the colors shift smoothly into true color night vision, which helps you differentiate a red car from a white one. It's a noticeable upgrade over the grainy monochrome you get from most budget Wi-Fi cameras. However, this strength comes with a trade-off. The motorized zoom takes a second or two to lock in, so if you're trying to quickly pan across a wide area, you'll notice a slight pause while the lens recalibrates. In a high-traffic environment with rapid movement, you might miss a fleeting moment. Most homeowners aren't looking for that kind of split-second precision, but professional installers or hobbyists who run hobby-level PTZ rigs might find it limiting. Another thing to watch is the IR illumination distance. While 150 feet is generous, the brightness does taper after about 80 feet, making the furthest edges look a little washed out in total darkness. If you need coverage beyond that, you'll still want an extra spotlight or a secondary camera. Now, the NVR itself. A 4K Ultra HD NVR can be intimidating for someone who has never touched a network video recorder before, but Lorex's interface is fairly straightforward. The main menu walks you through adding each camera by IP address, and you can assign zones and motion detection thresholds without digging into complex command line settings. The only real friction point is the initial network setup. You have to plug the NVR into your router, then connect each camera via Ethernet. The kit includes POE switches for that. If you're comfortable with basic networking, think of it as setting up a Wi-Fi router and plugging in a couple of devices. You'll be fine. For absolute beginners, the included Quick Start guide does a decent job, but I'd still recommend watching a short setup video, plenty are on YouTube, before you start. A standout feature is the built-in 3 TB hard drive. That's enough storage to keep 30 days of continuous 4K footage, which is more than enough for most households that only need to retain key events. Because the NVR records locally, you aren't dependent on a cloud subscription to retrieve footage later, which is a subtle but big cost saving. The only caveat is that if you want to keep recordings for longer than a month, you'll need to upgrade the drive yourself. Lorex uses a standard 3.5-inch SATA bay, so swapping in a larger drive is easy, but that does add a small extra expense. So, who should consider buying this system? If you own a property with a sizable lot, multiple entry points, or you simply want a set it and forget it solution that gives you high-resolution detail without a monthly cloud fee, the Lorex kit is a solid match. It works well for hobbyists who enjoy tweaking settings. You can fine-tune motion zones, adjust the infrared levels, and even configure remote alerts to your phone. Real estate agents often use similar rigs to document property conditions, and the 4x zoom combined with color night vision makes it a handy tool for that use case. Conversely, if you live in an apartment building with limited wiring options, or you need a discreet, battery-powered camera that you can